God bless you, everyone. It's good to be back again as we share the word of the Lord. So, for those that watched the part one, I am glad that you came back for the part two, because the part one was quite long. I did not mean to take that long, but I had so much to say in such a little tiny time, even though it was pretty much just the introduction, and yet it took 3 whole hours. So hopefully this time around it will be a little more different than it was before. So again, we will start off with a scripture, then a word of prayer, and then we can dive into part two. The part two, I did not get into the things that I had been seeing in that school. So the part one, remember, it was from birth to us moving to Uganda, and the stepmom was introduced in our lives at when I was just a few months old, and then she's the one that kind of raised me until like I was around 12 years old. But in those 12 years old, it was really hell on earth. So hopefully, if we have like male audience, it will teach you a thing or two of how to really consider your children and not be introducing strange women into the children's lives, because it really does destroy their lives, right? So that was our part one, and we talked about a little bit of what I went through in those early years of my life, with how rape was introduced in my life, and how I pretty much almost got sacrificed, but by God's grace that didn't work. So now we are, and how I ended up in a school called Brilliant Chicks, that ended up, the lady that started it ended up exchanging my destiny for her child, and also built the entire school on my star and my destiny. So today we're gonna look deeper into that, and by the grace of God, He will help us through. So we're just gonna read Psalms 86. Last time we read Psalms 117. Today is Psalms 86. It's a little bit long, but I hope it will be a blessing for you, because again, I have to follow the leading, and if that's the scripture, then I'll gladly read that. And I hope that it will be a blessing for you throughout the whole video. Hopefully it will not take that long. So Psalms 86. Bow down thine ear, O Lord. Hear me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou, my God, save thy servant that trusteth in thee. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. Rejoice the soul of thy servant, for unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. For thou, Lord, art good, and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art great, and doest wondrous things. Thou art God alone. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to hear thy name. I will praise thee, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. For great is thy mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. O God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering and plenteous in mercy and truth. O turn unto me, and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant, and save the son of thine handmaid. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it, and be ashamed, because thou, Lord, hast helped me and comforted me. May the Lord bless the reading of his word. I'll just make a little prayer. I just pray that you pray with me, that concentrate everything into the Lord's hands and give it to him, because he's the only one that can open my mouth to the right things and close my mouth to the wrong things. Gracious and merciful Heavenly Father, Lord Jesus, I come before thee, Lord. I thank you for this day that has been very much delayed because of my cowardice, because of all my excuses. But really thou art my God, my hope, my comforter, my deliverer, the lifter of my head. Father, Lord, I just want to glorify you. I just want to thank you because you are mighty. I just want to glorify your name because you are worthy. Father, there is no one that is like you. From the end to the beginning, Father, you are God alone. You are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and the end. Father, you are the one that makes destiny. You are the one that brings purpose into life. You are the very living of life. You are the very essence and meaning of life. Father, I want to glorify you because no matter what has happened in my life, Father, you have stayed with me. You have held my hand. You have brought me through the pits of hell. Lord, you have saved me from the mighty hand. And you, with a mighty outstretched arm, Lord, you have taken me from the pits of hell. You have saved me from the mighty that hold me down. You have taken me from being a prey unto the witches, and to the wizards, and to the sorcerer, and to the devil himself. And you have delivered me, Father, from all the powers of hell. You have saved me, Father, from all that tormented me for years. And Lord, I am here to glorify your name, because that is my whole purpose in my life, is that to make mention of your goodness, to uplift up your holy name, Lord. In a time that we are living in, where you get insulted, where you get denied, where you get pushed around, Papa, it's in my purpose and it's in my DNA that I'll glorify your holy name, Lord. Father, and as I talk about these experiences, Father, Lord, I know that it will go through different people, and you will lead it to whosoever, Father, that you have ordained it for. May it be a help to them. May it be an encouragement to them. May they not lose hope. May they be encouraged that the same God, the living Lord Jesus Christ, that has saved me from the very pit of hell, from all powers of darkness, that he will also extend the same mercy unto them and bring them out with a mighty hand. Papa, may you be glorified. Papa, may you be exalted. Papa, may you be worshipped. For I worship and I lift up your holy name, because only you are from the beginning and you are from the end. You are the everlasting Father. You are the Prince of Peace. You are the mighty God. You are the I am that I am. Not the one that was, but the I am that I am. Father, you are everlasting, from everlasting to everlasting. Papa, may you bring deliverance to all that will listen. May you give ears, Father, an open ear to those that will hear this testimony. May they be encouraged in the Spirit. May their faith be resurrected to remember that if you helped me and you are still helping me, that you also are the same God that will reach out to them, Papa, and you will help them. That you are always interested in the lives of your children. My Lord and my God, may you come through to every situation. Papa, as I make this prayer, may you visit your children. May you save the lost. May you heal the sick. May you deliver those that are downcasted. May you encourage those that are depressed. Papa, may you bring full deliverance to those that are yoked up. My Lord and my God, I commit this testimony to your hands because you're the one that gave it to me, and you are the one that will spread it, Father, for the glory of your holy name. Lord Jesus, I commit this testimony to your hands. May it be a tool, Father, that you will use, that it will reach out to whosoever, Father, that you have ordained it for the glory of your holy name, Lord, that they too will experience the same God that I have experienced, the God that is not asleep, the God that is not dead, but the God that is mighty, powerful to save, powerful to deliver. No matter the situation, Father, may that situation bow at the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. May every powers of darkness be destroyed and be subdued under your holy power, Father. And I take every spirit under your protection, Father. I take every spirit, Father, our Lord, under your control, that whatsoever that will watch this video and rise up against me, Father, Lord, may you combat them. May they not prosper, may they not succeed. For you have gotten me so far away, and you're taking me so far away, for the glory of your holy name. May you bless your people, but above all, Father, may you be blessed. May you be magnified. May you be highly exalted, because you are my God. You are my King. You are my deliverer. You are my joy. You are my comforter. You are my everything. And Papa, I just glorify you, and I commit this testimony into your mighty hands, Lord. May you close my mouth to the wrong thing. May you open my mouth to the right thing. May I not oversay things. May I not undersay things. So may you just have control, Lord, and let whatever I share, Father, only come from you, Lord. Father, Lord, I commit all things into your care. For I pray this in the name that is above every name, in the name that is holy, that is mighty, that is powerful, the name of my God and my Lord, the Lord Jesus Christ. I thank you, Papa, and I glorify you, for in your holy name I ask these prayers. May you grant them, Lord, I pray. Amen. So, from last time, from the first video, we talked about the school, the Brilliant Chicks, how it really it started out humbly, because really she didn't have anybody. You know, sometimes we have goals and we have ambitions, but we don't know how to reach there. And when we don't have patience or even try to find the will of God for our lives, the devil will give us a substitute. He will give us a perversion, and in the ways that he will lead us, we will end up, not only are we gonna be taken out of the will of God, but we will completely even lose our souls in the process. There is an evil that I've seen in this world, and that evil is greed and impatience. When we are greedy, you are willing to do anything to achieve your goal, regardless of who you have to step down on, regardless of who you have to destroy, just so that you can get into what you have in your heart. But again, whatsoever that you may have in your heart, if it's not ordained for you from the foundation of the world by the Lord Jesus Christ, know that you are in the wrong place, and you will succeed. You may succeed, because I said earlier, the devil also answers prayers. He will answer your prayer. You want a promotion, he will give you one. You want a husband or wife? He will give you one. He will give you things that are completely contrary to what God has ordained for you. And obviously nothing good ever comes out of that. So may our prayers be to really stay in the will of God. Because anything that is not from God, obviously is of the devil, and the devil came only to do three things: to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That is all that he knows. He has no mercy. He has no sympathy. He has no second chances. And he gets whatever he wants. So if it's the family, your family that he wants, he will lay down there. He will lay very low. He will watch. He will stalk you. He will patiently wait. And he will have counsel upon counsel against your destiny, against your calling, against your purpose, against your family. What? Because as long as he can get a hole in the foundation of your family, especially for you men that are supposed to be the head of the house, if he can get you out of that will, what God has ordained for you, he'll be able to take down this house. Because what? You're supposed to be the protection. You're supposed to be not just a provider, but you're also supposed to be a secure place. We know that it's God that protects, but a man that stands on his ground and protects his family, right? He's an interceder. He's a priest in that household. And so he will, if he stands his ground, there is no devil that will enter that home. But if he can get you out of that position, he can easily get to your wife and to your children. And then after that, your children will have a faulty foundation that will end up like years later, just like me making a video about my life. And maybe they may not have the same grace, because I grew up with a lot of people that are no longer alive today. There is a place that is so rich in this world. The richest place in this world. But the citizens of that place, they are silent. They cannot talk. They cannot even fight back. They cannot defend themselves. And yet they are rich. It's the graveyard. A cemetery. Truly, that place is very quiet. It's silent. Especially for those that are not spiritually, mature. You can go to the grave and you will not feel anything. It's only for those that are really, spiritually sensitive. You're going to end up seeing things that you should not be. And some spirits are going to be attaching themselves to you. But if you're not, you go there and you mind your business. You can even read your book. You can come out of it and nothing is going to happen to you. Why? Because the citizens of that place, they are silent. They are dead. But these places, treasures are there. And when you talk about treasures, we're not talking about, having gold and, silver and all of these things. All of that is nice, but it's not everything. There is more precious in this life than those things. Character is one of them. You cannot buy it. There is one man in the Bible that tried to buy the power of God, and that was Simon, the sorcerer. But he soon realized that he cannot buy the power of God. And character, godly character, comes from what? From the power of God. There is destinies. Some of you, say that that there is no such a thing as ghosts, and there is no such a thing as God. God does not exist. You are a fool. I will say it again. If you are that person that thinks that God does not exist, you are a fool. Because if you looked at yourself in the mirror, you would know that you came from somewhere. And you got created by someone. And in your mother's womb, someone had to put you together and bring you forth. And that someone also did not just bring you into this world to just occupy places and just breathe air, but he also had a purpose in mind for you. There is no potter in this life that will just create something just for the sake of creating. Some of them, will have something in their mind and say that, well, I need something fancy to drink through. I'm going to create a cup out of the mud. I think that's what it's called. I'll create a cup out of it. That cup is going to look like this. I'm going to design it like this. And it's going to be, the capacity of it is going to be like this. And I like the color of it to be like this. So he already has something in mind of when he creates that thing, what is going to be useful. So it will be very unfortunate if, the creator of that cup that molded it and fashioned it to be used for tea or some nice, hot drink, for you to take the same cup and go into the bathroom and start bathing with it. That will be out of the will of the person that, of the purpose that it was intended for. Or you can take it and start using it as a plate. I mean, some people do that, but it will still be out of what it was intended for. But if you get it and you warm up your tea and put it in there, you can really enjoy your tea nicely because it was made for that. But before you even got it, that means that someone created it. And if that is just the physical or the natural part of it, what about the spiritual? Because even this person, to get the idea of creating something, it had to be from somewhere. The Bible tells us that there is nothing new on this earth. No. The idea that you have, someone has already got it many, many, many years ago, and many already has that same idea that you have. It's just a matter of, achieving it. And so physically speaking, if someone thought about, the cup and what they can do about that cup, what about the fountain of all wisdom that thought about the person that is now making that cup? Where is that intelligence coming from? Where is that idea coming from? It can't be just from space. There is nothing there. There is no much life in the space. Because if that idea came from space, then all of you would have the same and you will achieve it. But it shows you that there is a creator somewhere. And just as you're molding it, there is one that actually molded you. That's why you are here, to mold what you had in mind. So it will be such a foolish thing if you denied your own molder, your own creator. It will be a very foolish thing. So if you are watching the video and truly you just don't understand, I just humbly ask that take a few minutes, reflect upon your life, see all the dangers that you have escaped, see all the near death that you have escaped, see that the fact that you even woke up this morning, all of those are miracles from our Maker. So it's a tragic thing when we say that there is no such a thing. Someone is making you breathe. Otherwise, you will be among the ones that are in the morgue right now. Or you would have been among the stillborns. It's not every woman that gets pregnant actually brings forth. How come you were not a miscarriage? Or among the babies that get aborted? Or be thrown into the garbage somewhere? How come you're there and you're watching this? That means that there is a creator out there that wants to speak to you, that is making up a way of contacting you and speaking to you personally. I'm not anything special. I'm not some preacher, I'm not some prophet, I'm not anything. I'm just a lady and a vessel in the hands of my Maker. And I'm trying to live what He has created me to be. Whether you agree with it or not, that's your own. But I'm living what He has called me to be. I know who called me. I know who ordained me. I know who predestinated me. But what about you? Do you know? Would you really say that you know? But if you don't, take a few minutes. Talk to Him. Say that, Lord, this lady is talking about things that I don't understand. But I pray that you talk to me and make yourself real to me. And I can guarantee that He will speak to you one way or the other. You may not have a dream or a vision or or an angel that will come to you, but one way or the other He will make that real for you. So I pray for that blessing, because it's the best blessing you can have in your life, to know your Maker. It gives Him pleasure that His creation know Him. It's not just knowing Him, but they should also have a relationship with Him, a communion with Him, an intimacy with Him. So search for Him this day, because He's interested in your life. So anyways, back to the school thing. I know that some people, this is too spiritual for them. They may not understand it, because some people live the rest of their lives just relying on what they see with their physical eyes and completely relying on those 5 senses. But those 5 senses were just meant to contact the earthly body. How about your spirit? You are a spirit being. The body that you're looking at right now is just a body. It had a beginning. It will definitely have an end. It will, just like it, it breathe that first breath, it will also take that last breath. But from the time that you're born to the time that you take your last breath, if you do not seek your Maker while you still can, you will be among those that now death is knocking on your door, and you wish you took it seriously, and you wish to turn back the hands of time. Lord, give me another chance. Sometimes He does give you that last chance on your deathbed, but majority of the time you go. That's true wisdom, is seeking your Maker while you still can. My Bible tells me that let everyone that has breath praise the Lord. How can you praise Him if you don't know Him? And the 5 senses that you can rely upon, and do all of these things, all of that, they are only beneficial for you as you're still here. But the moment you step out of this, what happens then? So you have to learn about what really governs your life. And your life is not governed by the physical. It's governed in the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, there is 2 spirits that has control over this entire universe. That's God, and that's stupid devil. Yeah, I call him stupid because he is. Who would actually try to take out their own Maker? Isn't that stupid? So, so there is that. There is just 2 spirits and 2 kingdoms. Although the kingdom of my God, it is the everlasting one. And the other one is just for a short time, and it will be destroyed. So if you are a citizen of that kingdom, you just know that you will also be destroyed with the king of that kingdom, with the God of this world, small g, God of this world. But those are spiritual beings, and you are a spiritual being. The real you is not the one that you're seeing in the mirror. The real me is not the one that is sitting right here on the camera. I have seen the real me. God has given me grace to see my other self, not just the spirit. So I know that there is more to this life. Why? Because I have lived it. This is my normal life. So for those that are, they do not have that, but seek your maker and he will reveal great things to you, and he will make himself more real to you, and he'll open your eyes to really see that this world, the things that you see with your physical eyes, they have already happened in the spiritual world. And it's just a matter of time that they will now manifest in this physical world. Let's say that you're sick, right? Right now, you may be sick. Let's say you have those terminal diseases. It was the arrow of sickness was fired against you in the spiritual world a long time ago. The devil maybe wanted to destroy your life for a long time. And because you didn't have any spiritual protection around you, your spirit doesn't have that blood that is covered upon it, because you're not a believer or anything. And I know that God protects even those that do not believe, but to his own, he really protects with all his might, just like a real father does. A real father doesn't just go around protecting every household. His priority is his own household. So that's also God, how he does things. But the arrow of sickness was fired against you in the spiritual world. And then in the physical, it manifested. And of course, the medical term, they have given it names, scientific names, medical terms, cancers, diabetes, leukemias, and whatever. But those are demons. Right? Those are demons, and God never ordained his children to go through that. He may permit it, but he's not the author of it. But it started in the spiritual world. Let's say that you are the person that is going to, you've been praying for a promotion. And then finally, it's like, you've been praying and you've been praying. And God heard those prayers. He opened the door of a breakthrough. He opened that door of a promotion in the spiritual world. And sometimes it may take a long time before it actually manifests in this earth. I'll give you an example of Daniel. Daniel prayed, made a prayer. In the spiritual world, the moment he submitted himself to pray, made up his mind to pray, to seek the face of God concerning what his people were going through, God had already heard it. And so because, we are so carnal and whatever, you have been praying, and Lord, I've been praying about this same thing, how come it hasn't gone through? So in the spiritual, God had it and already sent an angel with the answer. But that king of principalities, that devil that reigns in the powers of the air, caught him. And so the answer, even though God has already answered, but it was delayed. And because the angel that was sent was a lower rank than the devil himself, because remember, God, then the devil, then the rest are kind of lower ranks. Because he was a lower rank than the devil, so he was able to capture that angel and lock him up. So God had to send another angel that is more powerful than this one. Michael, the Prince of Israel, and we know him to be Christ. It's only had to be Christ that can take such a being down, because he was only second in command to God. So then what? Daniel did not even have an idea of what the spiritual world that was going on the behalf of his prayers. But he's prayed, the answer has already come, but it has been delayed. And that's why as humans we go complaining, Lord does not answer prayers anymore. I mean, you know, how come it is? Delays is not denial. So probably your prayers have been delayed. It's not that they were not answered. They were answered, but the answer is delayed because there is the prince of the air that is holding your prayers, your answers. But Daniel continued to pray, and surely, many days after, weeks after, he got the answer. So that is just an example of how our lives are actually governed. You and I are the current Daniels. We are the children of the Most High. He loves us. We may not be the Daniel, the original Daniel, but we also have equal access to the Most High God. And so we may pray and wait and wait. Sometimes we have to go into that spiritual battle to actually get that answer. Because that devil and them principalities and rulers of darkness, they do not wish you well. So they will hold everything that you have so that what? They will prevent you from believing God. They will hinder your faith. They also don't want you to succeed. They want you to sin against God by murmuring and complaining, so that, you know, in all of those, it kind of, you know, increases the delay process. But it shows you that it's the spiritual that governs the physical. Answer, the prayer was answered in the spiritual right away, but in the physical it took a while to manifest. Right? So may you and I continue to pray for the spirit of discernment, for the spirit of revelation, that we may know the enemy that we are fighting against, and God will continue to empower us to face those spiritual giants that needs to be taken down for us to receive our breakthrough. So I hope that helped a little bit with the things that I'm going to talk about, because really with a carnal mind you will not be able to understand it. You may think that I'm crazy, you may think that I'm making up things, but however way you receive it, if you do not understand it, please just ask the Lord to help you to understand, and I know that He will. So then this lady that we called Auntie Jane, and her husband, he was called Uncle John, because again in the school we call them aunt or uncle, right? You dare not call them by just plain. You're gonna get a beating for that. So they went from just having the school open in their living room, right, to using my star. They can use your star in the spiritual world. That's why I need you to open your spiritual thinking, that not everything that you see in your life is just normal. No. The battles that you see, the success and the failures that you see, it came from somewhere. But in the spiritual world, when a person is you know, like a lady that is pregnant, if what she's carrying is one of those children that came from God, the enemy will see it. They can go and you know, they will look into this the spiritual light, and they will see a light that this one that is getting born is not a normal one. Sometimes they will be able to tell that this one is going to try to destroy our kingdom, but you don't know that. Or this one is going to have this kind of destiny. They can be able to tell whether you're going to be a pastor. They can be able to tell whether you're going to be some great person that God is going to use for His own glory. That maybe is going to be a singer. So they may not know exactly what you're going to do, because they are not all knowing. Only God is all knowing. The devil is not, but he can sit there and observe your life, and from there he can be able to catch on of who you are. So they can see some kind of a light on this baby as it's getting formed. There is a special favor for it, there is a special light for it, and it's like, wow, this is going to be a different one. And really, if they go to those very high witches and whatever, those very powerful ones, just like the witch of Windsor, right, they can be able to tell that this one may end up being a prophet, this one may end up being a pastor, or this one is going to be a doctor that God will use to save souls, or this one is going to be a singer, and through that voice God is going to save many. Or this one has this destiny, that has this purpose, that is really radiating in the spiritual world, that you become a target to all powers. So what do? They will try to prevent it from coming into this earth. That's why you see a lot of abortions taking place. That's why you see a lot of miscarriages. So let's say that the mother is one of those that doesn't pray over the pregnancy, is just there living. They can easily cause a miscarriage, and or cause a deformity for that child to be born with no eye, or brain is not completely full. So they do a lot of things really to cause misfortunes, because that's what they do. That's all that they know. So in the first video, as I was talking about my birth, really she almost had miscarriages every day, but God was very much determined to get me here. It's it's throughout these years that I started understanding why he was very determined to keep me, because even now he's still determined to keep me. Sometimes the devil will be able to destroy those little souls like that, but sometimes the Lord is like, no, this one is gonna make it whether you like it or not. So there is gonna be a spiritual battle, and every single day of your life you're going to be stuck in between. This one is fighting, this kingdom is fighting, that kingdom is fighting, and you are constantly in a battle. That's pretty much my life every day. But you have to be aware of what is going on around you, and not just look at things through ignorance and just look at it and just leave it there. The devil loves those so much. So this woman, this headmistress of that school, she was able to see that, and then she made an agreement with the stepmother that because I was very highly intelligent, and she was going to get me and to start her school. Her daughter, the first daughter, was very dumb. So the moment she took me to that school, we were just 4 students, me and her 3 children. So I was like, I was the light of that school, and they named it Brilliant Chicks and everything. So I got to know all of this later on in life, when I really started praying, Lord, what's going on with my life? Why is my life like this? Then little by little he take me back and show me this was done, that was done, that was done. But at that time, of course, you don't know, because at that time I was like, what, 5 years old? Which kind of a 5-year-old is gonna know those things? You don't get to make your own decision. You just get sent, go to school, and then but most of the sometimes I'll hear their conversations, and like I said in the previous video, that I'll see dreams, I'll see all kinds of things, right? Whether it concerns me, whether it does not concern me, I'll see it anyways. So they made an agreement, and then she truly went and used the big star that I had, the big destiny, because they can see those things, right? And so they can exchange it. That's why I said the grave is the place that where all the rich people are laying. Doctors that were meant to save thousands of people are laying there. They never even got to save one person. You have ministers that were ordained for greatness, never even stepped a foot on the pulpit, and their destiny and their purpose is laying right there with them. You have people that were supposed to be prophets and prophetess, minors, and the devil came because of the choices that our parents make, and also the choices that we make ourselves when we're adults. We end up in such a place. You have people that were supposed to be vessels in God's hand that he was going to use for one way or the others, that are all laying down there in the grave with unfulfilled destinies. That's why we need the teaching of these things, so that the devil is not going to steal your destiny. He's not going to tamper with your purpose. He's not going to darken your star. But you will stand and you will fight by the grace of God, because God is always looking for a fight. Okay, he loves battles. He will take every opportunity that you give to him to destroy these beings. It's just a matter of yielding, and you will get it done. But you don't want to go back to your maker, and it's like, I sent you on the earth for this purpose, for this mission, for this. Why is it that you did not fulfill it? For those that perished when they are young, of course, all of that is what? It goes, that sin and all of those things that are done, it goes back to the people that did it. But to those that made the decisions, they reached the years of accountability, and they decided to just, I'm young, I'm gonna live my life, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to, and I'm gonna live however way you want to, and then the devil pollutes your destiny, contaminates your purpose, darkens your star, then you will answer to God. You did not fulfill your maker's desires. And now they are lying in the grave with all of those things. And of course, when you die, it comes right back, and it's like, I would have been this, I would have been this. Lord, give me another chance, but there is none. You're dead. So may we know how to go about with these spiritual matters. So as you listen, open your ears very well. Maybe one or two things will be said to you that will open you up until you go fall before the Lord, and you may not have your own my experience, but God will give you your own. So my stepmother handed me over to this gem of a woman, a person that I was so smart, I was so bright, I was so this. All of that ended up, in just a few weeks' time, I really ended up being very dumb, until I couldn't read anything. You ask me a simple question that I would be able to quickly answer like that. Now it's just that and she had the audacity to be also failing me, because I'll go back at home with those homeworks that were 2 out of 12 and then of course she will see that you give that kind of report to your mother, and you this dumb kid, what happened to you? And then you're gonna get a beating for being dumb. But all of that in just a space of just a few weeks. And again, from a few weeks of we were in her home, that was where her school is, to now renting a place where she now has her it was called it's what is it called? I said it in the previous video. So is it a preschool here? I don't know. A kindergarten, because it's not a daycare, but it's a kindergarten, right? So it went from that into a place where she now bought a huge land and started building a school, a primary school. In just a few months, any parent at all that saw the beginning of how it went will be very suspicious, because there is no one that gets rich that quickly unless you have gotten your hands in very dirty things. But of course, since my stepmother was on it, it was all about that, you know, you exchange this and you give me this, so they'll meet in the spiritual world. They knew their own covenant that they had made, which they had signed me into different kind of, I was in different kind of covenants. Very different one. That will be a different video, because it's many covenants that I ended up finding myself into. But most of it started from where? From this Auntie Jenny with my stepmother, making a covenant upon my life. They sold me to demons. They put a spirit of death upon my life. They darkened my path, until every time I even dreamt, apart from that, from 3 years old to 7 years old, like I said, I had that one dream of the fairest, and it would go up, and it was that same dream for since 3 years old to 7 years old. Obviously, that's not normal. Every single day, the moment I close my eyes, I'm already gone, right? So after, when I was 7 years old, then that dream disappeared, and now I was being chased by a python. This python knew my name, and I knew it. This python used to chase me. Lizards, snakes of different kinds, especially the mambas and the cobras. Oh my goodness. Now it wasn't just a dream. Most times I would be just there and I would see these things and I would just be screaming. So anyway, because you know, from the time that she started building that school, I was still I was going to that same school, but day, because when she built that, it was a primary school, so it was day school and also boarding school. She later added on the boarding school as the money got much, right, and the students, she started getting a lot of students. So when she enrolled me, when I was, you know, I got transferred, because I was already among them when they started. So when I got transferred to that, to the other one, the bigger one now, I started seeing things in that school. It got worse when now I moved into the boarding. She didn't, my stepmother didn't want me in boarding school yet, because she was still selling me to those guys that would come at night and rape me, right? And also those so-called man of God that I talked about in the first video, that used to rape me every night. So she still wanted me at home to use me for her own benefits. But when a time came, and so she sent me to, she registered me into that school as well for boarding. At that time, my brother was already there, I think for like maybe a year or two. He stayed there, and I go in the morning, I come back later, right? So when I started going for the boarding school, I think I was in primary 2. I think that would be like the 2nd grade or something. At that time, I was, I think around 8 or something. So now I was a little bit more aware. I still couldn't understand the things that I was seeing, because even at home, I would see shadows. Women, some old women, you know, with wrappers will appear, and you're just sitting there, and it's like, just, I know, it sounds like a Nigerian movie, but don't ever think that those are just movies. No, There is people out there, and I'm one of them, that have seen it live, right? So this woman, I'll see all kinds of witches. And I heard at that time there was I think it's called centipede. Those are long thing that has many legs. Oh, I used to see those every day, different sizes, that will come to my bed. And I hated them, because whenever I saw them, I'll lose my appetite, because I really just I couldn't stand them, because they were very disgusting. When they get scared, they crawl up and you know, just like a snake. Ugh. Even just thinking about it, I'm losing my appetite. But that is all I saw day and night. I'll see lizards, and on top of you know, all the things that happens at night, and being sold on for different men and stuff. And also I had stalkers of my own, you know, men that will just see me and be like, "Ooh, you're so pretty," and so they'll, you know, they will try to entice me with things, and when I run away, they'll just try to rape me when I'm going to fetch water. So I had my hands full. I was a target no matter where I went. Every day was a struggle. Every day. It's either you're fighting with this witch that wants to destroy you, that just appears to you, and others will just say it with their mouth. I'll show you. You go to sleep and they will really try to show you, right? So finally, when I went from being at home, because I was treated like a slave and I was so tired of living in that house, so then it's like, okay, you're going to go to study like some is, and you're gonna do boarding school. That was my father's idea, because again, all this time he didn't even know what was going on in my life. He thought that his little princess was fine. He thought that I was so safe and I was secured. And you know, because whenever those times that he would show up, and I would run to him and everything was fine, but he would see sorrow in my face, and he would try to find out, and it was not anything. So he came back at home so late most times that the stepmother would tell me, if you open the door for him, you see, he's gonna come back drunk and everything. If you open the door for him, I'll kill you in the morning. But I loved my father more than anything. At that time, he was a god to me. So of course, the moment he comes, he used to just call me T. And he would have a little tiny knock on my window, and I would rush right away to open for him, against the instruction, because I didn't care whether she killed me or not, because for me, the safety of my father was what was important. Because at that time, most times, if you know, there was a lot of robbers that will really find you and kill you. So I had to be opening the doors for him. So I think at some point he figured that it was not so safe for me, and then he decided to put me in a boarding school. I was excited, because the way the boarding school is that in the dormitory, whoever comes first in the girls' dorm was 3 rooms, right? So whoever comes first, you get to choose which room you can be in. You get to choose which bed, whether you want the top one, the middle one, or the one on the ground. So I was the kind that wanted to be up there, because I knew I was barely sleeping. I barely slept. In fact, even now you can see sometimes I have these dark things under my eyes, and sometimes it's like, you know, I get these curious looks. They are not saying it, but I can hear it. I can hear when they're thinking, it's like, why does she always look like that? But I cannot tell you. But maybe after I'm done with all of these videos, then you'll understand why I usually have dark eyes and stuff. So I was excited. You know, my dad went and bought me what we call a case. It's that iron thingy that is like a big suitcase. He got me a mosquito net. He got me a little mattress. So, you know, he went and bought all. My dad was the kind that even at 8 or 10, whichever, even at 15, he would still take me to buy me underwears. that was, you know, the kind of dad he was to me. So, you know, one day he picks me up and he's like, I'm gonna go do shopping. He was so excited. So we went to that market, I think it's called Nakasiro or something. And he bought a bunch of things for me. And then after that, we took the taxi, the bus, right, all the way to the school. So I got to pick the room, and there was not many students at that time that had come in. So I was one of the few first ones that came. So I chose the middle room and the higher bed. So I made my bed nicely, you know. So, and I'm like, finally I get out of that horrible house. I will not be seeing these things anymore. So, you know, I'm talking to myself, of course, because there is no one that I can share these things with, right? So I'm just there trying to brag and comforting myself. I'm like, finally I am free from that woman. I am free, and I'm gonna make friends. I'm no longer living with those you know, friends that I had before that had rejected me because I was weird. So this was like a new beginning for me, and I was really excited. So girls started coming in. The boys' dorm was not too far. It was actually connected with the owners of the school, so it was connected. It was like their garage or something. So the boys were sleeping there because the boys were few and the girls were many. So we ended up, because they wanted a privacy for us, so we ended up there. I was really excited. So the girls came, and you know, I actually do have favor with people if they don't know how weird I am. When they don't know, they usually come to me. So I had a lot of people, like a lot of girls that came, and it's like, oh, can you be my friend? It's like, yeah. That night the matron tells us, you know, I think it was at 8 or 9, all lights off. So, you know, you've been making friends the whole day, you're tired, and now it's like time to sleep, and you're looking forward to tomorrow. Because we came on Sunday, you're looking forward to tomorrow, to finally be that boarding person that you no longer have to walk that 1.5 hours back home, but now all you have to do is literally carry your books back into your dorm. And you know, you are looking down on those day people. You know, you're looking down at them as like the losers that have to travel, but you're just gonna carry your stuff. So I was really excited. My excitement didn't last long, as always. That's usually my life. So at night, as the lights went off, I tried to sleep. I couldn't. I forced myself. I had a Bible, by the way. I used to carry my Bible to the school because that Bible helped me a lot when I was at home. Whenever I'll see you know, shadows, and I'll hear voices and whatever, I'll just hold on to my Bible very, you know, I'll hug it like really my life depended on it, which actually it did. Because that Bible really, I may not have known the earth of that Bible at that time, but I knew that whatever it was in this Bible was going to protect me. So it had worked well for me at home, and so I brought it with me. So it was under my pillow. As everybody started, you know, quieting, we go from short, now, you know, this one is sleeping, that one is sleeping, that one is sleeping, and now you are left by yourself, because I'm so used to not sleeping that of course I stayed up. I'm just thinking how tomorrow it will be, the subjects that we're gonna learn. Ooh. Then I felt this atmosphere. It was even more stronger than the ones that I had felt at home. I felt the atmosphere change. And it's 3 rooms, right? So you have one, so the main door You enter, there is a little room. It wasn't so big, so the big room was the one that I had and the one next to me. So you, as you enter, so before this being entered, I could feel it, and right away I went, ugh. And all I can think about is that, oh no, no. These things did not come and find me there, but this one had a different atmosphere to it that was strong, more intimidating than the ones that I was used to at home. I closed my eyes. I got my Bible out from under the bed. I hugged it. And because I'm so used to them coming right on my face, right? So I closed my eyes and pretended that I was sleeping. I even started snoring. But because you have fear. And that's what they do. First, they bring such a spirit of fear that you're gonna be shaking. It was something that I've never experienced before. It even took my breath away, and the closer it got, the more I could not breathe. It's like my breath was catching and catching. So it came, I closed my eyes. I'm just like, this time around I'm not alone. It will go to someone else. It's not my portion. But you know, in your heart, it's going to find you. But wishful thinking that, hey, there is a lot of girls, pretty much all the beds are full. It can't be me this time around. It doesn't even know me. It seemed very different. So I closed my eyes, I packed my Bible, I started fake snoring. It got closer. I started shaking, and it got closer, and I couldn't breathe. I made a mistake. I decided to peep a little bit with my eye. I saw it. It 3 rooms. It overpassed the first one. It came because our doors did not have they didn't have the door, so it was just an open place that should have had a door, right? So it came and stood right there. And unfortunately for me, my bed was pretty much, if you stand right at the door, it will be the first one that you will see, because other beds were like organized in an L kind of way. It came and stood right at the door. It looked right on my bed. Remember, I am on the last bed. There is the one in the middle. There is one under. I just knew it. So I closed my eyes very tightly and pretended I increased my snoring so that it can think that I'm snoring. I'm completely asleep, because everybody there was snoring, so I may as well. But I was still watching it from really, my eye was like so small. I watched it. It came with every intimidation that it can master. And its entire intention was to bring me so much fear until probably I just pass out. And it almost succeeded. Because with every step that being took, I almost stopped breathing. Because first of all, it had an air around it that was so dry that you feel like you even want to do, like you have allergies. It was that dry and so evil. And it came. It was so tall, like really, because the room was like really long up, and so it was like almost to the ceiling. So I tried to size it up, but it came. It looked so dark and so tall, and it came and it came, and it approached where I was, and it bended like this and looked at me like that. It was doing everything very intentional because it was too tall, right? So it just bended and just looked at me like this. Ah, fear can actually kill. I know that it knew that I saw it because my heart was jumping out of my chest. That is pretty much all you can hear. It was boom, 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 boom. Because again, I have seen demons, I have seen witches, but I've never seen such a being before. It was bold like this and tall all the way to the roof. So as it bent and it looked at me like this, and I just, looked at it with a little eye, and it intimidated me, and it stretched forth its very ghostly hand. The hand was so ghostly. It's like it's visible but not visible. I can look at its face. The eyes here, it's like there is no socket. It's like you see, it's just darkness, but you can see some form of a nose, some form of a mouth, but here there is nothing. That was very scary. It stretched forth its hand and it was trying to reach on my neck. Now I have a mosquito net, right, which I completely tucked in very nicely, but it was reaching out, almost touching, wanting to go through the mosquito net, and all of a sudden it froze. With every intention, it was out for the kill. It was trying to stretch to grab my neck because I had been strangled by demons many times, so I knew how that usually works out. First, they take away your ability of speaking. The tongue ends up getting stuck on top of the roof of the mouth, and then the voice gets stuck. So even if you're screaming, you'll be, but no sound. So I've been there before, done that. That was my whole life. I knew those, but this one was different. But it froze as it was reaching. So I could tell there was something that was holding it. So I opened both my eyes and I looked right at it, and it's like there was nothing I was looking at. It was terrifying. And then it's like I could feel anger coming from it. It was so angry. It's like I did something against it. But it froze, and it wants to move the hand, but when it wants to, it's like something is limiting it. Until it was there for a while, it felt like a century, but I don't know, probably for just a few minutes really. And then it withdrew, and it's just doing its neck like that. That was very creepy. And it's just doing so that it can really look at me with whatever eyes that it had. At some point, it stretched its head up like this. In my room, there was a little tiny storage place where we were putting our bags, and the cases that we had that had our clothes, our snacks and everything, we were required to put them, well, it was not really a requirement, but for the sake of other kids not stealing your stuff, you put it on your bed, right? The beds were very long, enough for you to actually sleep comfortably and also have your case on top of your bed. But that little store place, you would put you come back and you have a backpack, you just throw it there, your boots, you throw them in there. So it's walked and turned and went into that room, and I'm looking at it, and then vanished. I started thinking about my life. I started thinking about my options. It's like, I thought that I was running away from demons and witches, but I think I just ended up in a wrong place. I did not sleep that night. Whenever I'll try to sleep, I'll hear something like that. Sometimes I'll hear children screaming, but you don't see them. Sometimes I'll hear voices, strange voices, and you not see them. So for that night, I stayed up the whole night. I was shaking. I peed on my bed. And because I'm on the top, I'm on the top one, I'm just worried because, the girl underneath me, she was just snoring. I'm just like, oh, I just started a new life and I already going to be known as the girl that pees in the bed. Because of the fear, it really made sure that I was terrified to the point of peeing on myself. And I really did. But at that moment, I was not thinking about the consequences of it. It was when it disappeared that I'm like, oh Lord, what am I going to say? Because surely the pee has gone to the, to the girl under me. And now she's going to publish me that I pee in the bed. So what I did is that since I stayed up the whole night, right, I was way too scared to get out of my bed. No, so I just laid there with my Bible. It was a smaller Bible. So I just lay there and just holding on to it for dear life. But its image kept playing in my mind. And when it was staring at me that way, there is a voice deep in my soul that says, do not fear. I knew that voice, whatever that voice was, it was attached to this Bible. So that's why I hugged it very dearly to me, because there was a voice, a very soft, beautiful voice that told me, do not fear. Just right above as it was stretching like this. And then I could tell that something was holding it. And that was my Lord. Because it had every intention of killing me. So I stayed up looking at the ceiling, wondering, should I tell Dad to take me home? But what I see at home is also nightmares. So I don't want to. I'm like, maybe it will not come back again. In the morning, very early in the morning, because we usually wake up at 6 or 5 o'clock, go down to shower. Even the bath was like very deep in the bushes. It was surrounded by banana plants and trees and whatever. Sometimes you're gonna look and it's like you're looking at a person like this or whichever. So very early in the morning, I did not say anything. I was just waiting for the girl to scream that I peed on her bed. Because I thought that surely the pee that I had done, it will go to where she is and she's gonna wake up. She did wake up, okay? She did. But I heard her saying, what happened? My blanket is wet. No. It can't be. I have stopped wetting the bed. It can't be. I cannot be the one that wetted this bed. So I came down and I'm looking at her like, so you still wet the bed, huh? Don't worry, it will be a little secret. I won't tell her, so I promise. I looked up on my mattress. God helped me. There was actually nothing there that showed that it came from me. I was expecting to have a big print, because it was not the first time that I had wetted the bed. Usually whenever those very, you would think that you get used to it, but you don't. Some of them you're like, yeah, what's new? But some of them will come with such terror that you will pee on yourself. Right? So sometimes I would pee even at home and the mom will beat me. It will beat me up so mercilessly. But I can't tell her why I actually peed in the bed. You are too grown to pee in the bed. but I was seeing a demon. And sometimes it's ghosts of like people that don't understand where they are, so they just come and really just know how, they don't know personal space, they literally just come into your face and really stare. So then you know, when I looked at my mattress and there was nothing, I was like, I'm off the hook. So she beat herself up the whole day, saying how her parents would be very disappointed if they ever found out that she wetted the bed. And I just don't know what happened. I didn't drink before I fall asleep. And so anyway, to make sure that what I had seen, because like I said in the other video, my mouth got me in so many troubles. I had started again. So to make sure that that thing that came, it wasn't just for me, I ended up asking a girl that was first in the first row of right at the entrance, right? So I asked her, because I know that she was one of the last one to fall asleep. I'm like, did you hear anything last night? She's like what? You know, like things moving or very uncomfortable presence. Presence? What does that mean? Anyway, did you see anything? No, I fall asleep. Did you feel anything? No. I'm like, oh, okay. Why are you asking? Oh, I'm just making sure that we all had a good sleep. So then she's looking at me like, wait, why is your eyes red like you've been crying? I'm like, no, you know, the showers and stuff just got into my eyes. So I ended up making up whatever excuse that I could, because I really didn't want to start again with the whole "you're weird" in this place. So